I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Assassination!
Many men wish death upon me.
For the first time since Reagan, a president had an assassin try to end his candidacy.
America missed me.
A 20-year-old registered Republican and Second Amendment supporter took a ragged-ass shot at sweet potato Hitler this last weekend, and the bullet winged his ear. And then once Trump heard the Secret Service say, shoot her down, Cheddar Mussolini took the time to pop his head back up into the line of fire. You know, like a genius. And I want you to know we are all happy the former president wasn't killed. Look, guys, whatever you think about this podcast, I don't want him dead. I just want him gone. The damage to Trump's ear was so severe, he needed a Lipton tea bag to heal it. Here's what a dink this guy actually is. The day after he was shot, he went golfing with no bandage. But he shows up at the RNC with a small carry-on bag stuck to his head. Trump is fine. And if you think an inch from dying would change this man, then you're more gullible than his supporters.
He didn't lose.
Do you believe the election was stolen?
Yes.
There are aspects of the 2020 election that were unfair.
Come on, this is the same guy who buried his ex-wife on his golf course to cheat taxes. He stole money from a kid's cancer charity and now, by law, can't ever have another charity. He's the same guy. But I always wonder why people think God saved him. If you believe in God, you gotta believe in his nemesis. I'm pretty sure Satan got involved this weekend. Now, let's talk about the real assassination attempt that is ongoing. These people are trying to kill democracy. Nancy Pelosi, Adam Schiff, Jerry Nadler, and the we're gonna lose crew. You know, after Biden's debate with Trump,
Let's you and me fight.
some Democrats and left-wing media got behind Joe Biden so they could plunge 8-inch daggers into his back. In the most Shakespearean move since Taylor Swift took down Jake Gyllenhaal. Democrats are killing their own candidate. Do you get that? I would like to point out that the Democrats aren't killing Biden. They are killing democracy. The polls also show that Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer, or any other Democrat they put against Trump polls the same or worse than Joe. And Kamala is already on the ticket. You're going to split that up? Look, guys, if Biden can't finish his term, she gets to be president. Yeah, and we can do that without dragging her high school boyfriend out to talk smack during the campaign. So why? Why after the best record since FDR are these turncoat Democrats going after pop? Money. Biden's going to make millionaires and billionaires pay. Biden wants a 25% tax on those with more than 100 million. You know, the owners, as this guy said.
They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets, and they own all the big media companies.
It would raise $500 billion over 10 years for childcare and paid parental leave, like other countries. And that would also lift the average tax rate for America's 1,000 billionaires from 8.2% and bring it in line with the same 25% paid by you and me. And the owners don't want that. Biden is also breaking up monopolies because monopolies do monopoly shit, like price gouge, bust unions, buy competition, and then they charge more for shittier made stuff. Every financial analyst says corporate profits are driving more than half of the current inflation increases. The prices we are paying for everything are actually outpacing the cost of making everything. Yet inflation is dropping because of Biden.
Not a joke. Fact.
So because the Dems aren't getting their political checks to fill their political action committees, the Democrats are turning on the one guy who actually did what they've been telling us they were going to do. Because like every politician, the Democrats were lying. Look, it's no joke. Joe's 81. He's not corrupt. He doesn't need money. He truly cares about you and I, the American people. He cares about democracy and soft food and a good dump.
Not a joke.
Because he's old. Does that surprise you? Did you think he was going to get younger in 4 years? This guy is also 81. Yeah. And even he doesn't poll as good as Biden. Oh, I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. God damn it. Can we just back off this guy? How do you get the guy that's done everything he's supposed to do and then go, yeah, Grandpa's still making us money and saving everything. But you know what? Let's put him in the hole. God, so fucking tired. Everybody, Christopher Titus, Titus Podcast. I have never been angry in my life. But with me, as always, lovely Bombshell Ray.
What's up, people?
And the Highlander.
one.
If you guys saw the Armageddon Update, you know that we have... there was 2 assassination attempts. One is ongoing by the Democrats, and the other one, Trump actually had a 20-year-old conservative kid who'd been bullied, a kid who'd kind of had a rough life. I mean, in a sense, very smart, but no friends, and take a pot shot at him from the. And we have to talk about this. First of all, Trump's okay, and again, as I said before, I don't want him dead. I just want him gone. I don't want him dead. I just want him gone. It was interesting to watch it because we have family in law enforcement, and their pretty much consensus is the Secret Service fucked up.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, how do you, like 128 yards is nothing.
And they were told.
Well, they even said they were saying that he's got a rangefinder. They were talking about him. So they knew he was there. Now, so yeah, it's okay. Let him go. He's got a rangefinder and he's carrying a rifle. All right.
I think they saw him and just like, give him a salute.
Well,
go for it, child.
Well, so I have a question about that because at a Biden rally, that guy's dead. That guy's gone. They're taking him off. He's getting arrested before the Biden starts. And also, as one of our family law enforcement said, what you do is if you see that guy, you hold off for 10 minutes. You get that guy secure. You look around. You
get Trump
and then you
secure.
Get Trump secure, and then you start 15 minutes late. It's Trump. No one would care anyway.
He's already like an hour late.
Yeah, exactly.
So
what's another 15?
Yeah.
And so for the Secret Service to do this, it's. I'm pissed because that means it goes for Biden too. The same people in charge of the security for Trump are the same overall, are the same people for any candidate. Yep. Kamala, Biden, the people that and so the kid was on the roof. So the reports are there was cops in the building, so you didn't hear on a tin roof that a guy was climbing above you.
Nobody thought to go.
Clinkle. Someone cranking a beer can. Yeah, when you crinkle a beer can, crinkle. So
we're familiar with beer cans and tin roofs.
Yeah, so you didn't hear that. There was no ladder. There was a kid who climbed up on an air conditioning unit to get on the roof.
Oh, so that was a false.
They've been saying
thing.
And also there's because my brother is probably looking at more right-wing media. He was saying yesterday that there was a second shooter potentially on the water tower, and I keep saying to him, fact check that. Need you to fact check.
Was it a really old guy?
Fact check it right now.
But I haven't seen anything about that.
Was there
so I'm waiting.
Was there a second shooter on the water tower? Because that guy, so this makes my point in the Armageddon of the even dumber. So when they played the video, we watched it. We were in Omaha. Great shows, by the way. Just to sidebar the assassination attempt. Hey, by the way, and we had a great weekend. So,
you know who else killed?
Exactly. And that wasn't an attempt. I did it. So
I did say when I walked out on stage in Omaha that this is a weird day. It had happened right before the show on Saturday. Yeah. And I said, I just want you all to know that you all may be called to testify that Titus was in fact here. And everybody instantly knew what I meant. They were like, oh yeah, Titus.
So what happens is what was I talking about before we got sidetracked by
water towers and family? You were about to say also that we were watching it on CNN and were you going to talk about the posting?
So they showed it, and then they actually showed, they had a feed with all the mics on, and you hear, they take Trump down, and you hear shoot her down. They're on top of him. You hear shoot her down. And then Trump goes, get my shoes, because he's got lifts in his shoes. He doesn't want anybody to find his shoes. Yeah. But he's got 2 inch lifts. He came out
of his shoes when he hit the ground. I thought that was fascinating.
Well, because he's barely in them anyway.
Because he's not in them, because he's standing on top of them.
I did think that was an interesting thing to say to Secret Service while you're on the ground and there's a shooter. Get my shoes. Get my shoes.
He really said, get all my shoe parts.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
And then
I wanted you to slow-mo it because I was pretty sure that his teeth came out. He came up looking like Mrs. Doubtfire. Did you see that?
He did,
and I think that...
Well, how I mean, all of a sudden, all this shit he's talked for so long, all of a sudden he had to realize, because nobody knew at that point who it was or what it done. Oh my God, this really happened.
Yeah.
And you could tell when he stood up, I thought, it's a setup. I go, nah. I go, no one, look, Trump is narcissistic, but there's nobody he's going to go, hey, just wing me.
Right.
Just clip my ear a little bit. Just a little bit. You're that good, right? So I'll stand there. You're going to fire a giant bullet at me. So there's no way.
When I turn and look for 35 minutes,
then do it
I'm
right
ready.
There. Yep.
So that's horrible that we're now in America now where, and the kid, this right-wing kid who'd been bullied, they interviewed all the kids from school because I guess the school's pretty liberal, and they're saying, and this guy was very hardcore conservative. In class, he would argue conservative science. So whatever damage this kid had, he had damage.
All the right wingers are saying now, but he gave $15 to the progressive.
But that's
whatever.
There's another guy with the exact same name that lives 30 miles away. That the exact same name. That's a 69-year-old man.
I love the fact that he's got like 49 like facts that he's a super conservative guy. And then like they find one possible nugget of like and focus on that one.
Yeah, wait
There's like
a minute.
Trump flags in his yard.
But that's also where we are in America, where people are so desperate to make everything, even something this heinous, fit into see, I told you, political box. And that's
and both sides, because I think that once we, because even I was like, once we found he was conservative, I was relieved. I was like, okay, thank God, because what that did is that's going to put the brakes on any other psycho crazies on the right that are going to quote get even. Yeah. So, and that's where we are. My son brought this up to me. He just called me out of the blue last week, and I don't know if I talked about this last week. He said, "Did I talk about the Romney?"
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And he said, he goes, "What is that?" Because he's 20 now, which means he's for 8 years he's been dealing with the psycho-ness of this. So at 12-year-olds, he started paying attention. He's like, he saw Obama and Romney meet each other at the debate, very cordial, very nice, compliment each other, talk normal. And he was like, "Is that what it used to be like?" I go, "Yeah, pretty much my whole life. It was like that up until this guy got elected." So that's the assassination attempt. We do want to say that we are glad. I don't want anybody shot. This is the dumbest shit ever. I mean, you want to start a civil war? You want to stop? Everyone just bring it down. And why? Because it's all dumb anyway. It's like, it's politics.
Now, if it was, let's say, a Democrat, right? That would be the fucking dumbest move, because that would just hand over the country.
This smartass right here gets on stage. She goes, it was a Democrat because they missed. That was so I don't like. She said that on stage, and I was like,
they laughed really hard. There wasn't even a pause. And
no, they clapped because it was right wingers. It's Omaha. It's Nebraska.
Yeah.
They were
so
like,
they thought I was making fun of Democrats, which
you kind of were.
Kind of was.
You were.
Yeah. I'll make fun of whomever.
That's what comics
I'm
were supposed to.
Equal opportunity.
That's when these comics are like, I'm a conservative comic. Well, you're just a comic. Just
I told him Friday we were starting the show late because we were late. We're never late to a show, but Biden was speaking in Detroit, and he was totally sucked in and wanted to see it. He
slayed it.
But I went on stage and said we are late because he wanted to watch Biden speak, and Biden was still going. So see, he gets so mad at that, but I'm an asshole to everyone.
I'm glad you make fun of people's like there's like basic stuff because you're perfect because she was born perfect. She's 5'11", gorgeous.
Far from it. But
no.
I feel
we
like
can't.
Our job is to get up and make fun of ridiculous people and situations, and that should not have anything to do with politics.
I do a bit where I walk across the stage, and it's really kind of I'm playing my great grandfather. And I go, "Hey, I found Biden's walk," and they all clap. So you're right. Our job is to make fun of everything. But in this current climate we're living in, don't you agree that we are at a place now where we have to get serious? All right, let's just vote on the facts. Let's just go over the facts. The Democrats, for whatever reason, have decided 4 months away, less than 4 months away from the election, to body slam, Garrett, stab, cut his jugular, kneecap him, Joe Biden. I don't get it. Now, I agree. I was the first one to say it. I was screaming at the TV during the debate. Like, what are you doing? Wake up.
Yep.
Since then, he has had 8 speeches. Listen to the guys. Go to listen to NAACP speech yesterday. Holy shit. Go to the speech that I was just talking about when he in Detroit.
Yeah, that was great.
He body slammed Trump. It was awesome. He was great. So Biden's back. He said, Lester Holt, he goes, "I was sick." He goes, "I was sick." He goes, "I shouldn't have gone to the debate." He knew that if he had canceled the debate, they'd have said, "Oh my God, he can't do it." And so he went anyway, thinking he can handle it. But he's 81. Which is why there's a picture of Mick Jagger. Mick Jagger's 81, 82, and he's still running around on stage for the Rolling Stones.
Sleeping around still.
Yeah, he's still doing. He's married.
People were saying, he was jet lagged, but
he was.
He had flown across
6 days. 6.
I thought Jon Stewart even said 2 weeks. It had been enough time.
It was 6
considerable amount of time.
Yeah, he'd been back for 6 days.
Any president, except for one that has a blank schedule and says he will take many meetings and many phone calls and gets up at 11 a.m. and golfs 300 and whatever times, except for that guy, any president is working their ass off. They're very busy. You've got people up your ass all the time. There's wars. There's
trying to solve things.
But there's human years and there's president years.
Yes,
and we've
faster than dogs.
Yeah, yeah. It's like for every year as president, you age 9 years. I watched Obama go from this young black man to
gray.
He actually looked like Samuel Jackson in Django at the end. I'm like, why is his hair all gray? Why does he look like that?
And he's racist.
So,
but the fact that Biden has had, however many, count them, of just kind of killer speeches, right?
Yeah.
And people are still asking every fucking turn about, now, should you drop out of the race? And then he answers it. And then they go, now let's talk about in detail. Should you drop out of the race?
Yep.
Let's put a little clip
He
in
did
the list.
the press conference with no prompter. So if people are saying, oh, well, he's on a prompter. No, he took questions for 58 minutes?
For an hour. But no one brings it up. They keep going back to the debate. But here's why. Adam Schiff today came out. Adam Schiff, I want you to know something. I won't be voting for you now. And I don't, and Senate seat be damned. I am tired of you guys kneecapping a dude that saved our country. Like people go, yeah, but eggs are expensive. When Trump was here, there were no eggs. Yeah. There was no eggs. You couldn't buy eggs.
There were no eggs, no farmers, no chickens.
There was no water. The stores were empty.
Yep.
No hope.
No hope.
China bought the farms.
Before the pandemic hit, 24% of farmers went bankrupt because of his tariffs with China. So we can go down the list, and we're going to over the next 4 months. By the way, keep watching this podcast. Tell people to watch. You want facts? I'm going to be dropping them hard because I'm tired. We are on the ragged edge, and so what the Democratic and liberal media has done is instead of what I loved about them was they used to be fact-based. They're not. They're not talking about an NAACP speech. They're not saying Biden has it back after the Detroit speech. They're not saying that he did an hour-long press conference. It was awesome. They're not saying he's done 2 interviews, one with Lester Holt and one with Stephanopoulos, who Stephanopoulos for a half an hour asked him the same
that was
question
annoying.
Like it was a fucking interrogation. But don't you think you should get out of the race? Don't you think you should? Well, what would you think your mental acuities? He never once said, hey, you know what? You turn the economy around. The stock market's at record highs. The stock market's at 40,000 today.
And if the roles were reversed, the fucking Fox News would have been making excuses for the debate, moved on immediately. They would have praised the debate. They would have praised it.
I guess actually Biden had a call with House Democrats. And this just got reported today, and it got heated between him and Congressman Jason Crow, who's Colorado Democrat. Jason Crow said voters are concerned about your vigor and strength, especially as it's perceived on the world stage. And Biden said, I don't want to hear that crap. And everybody was like, ooh, okay.
All right.
Yeah, Grandpa's pissed off.
Fucking hell yeah.
And he said, he did something great at the end of it. He goes, let me tell you what a black job is. Vice President of the United States.
Who said that?
Biden said it yesterday at the end of the He goes, let me tell you what a black job is. President Barack Obama
brought that up.
That's a black job. And I was dude, he was bitch slapping the right all day long, and they're not reporting it. Katie Tour, by the way, is such she's literally like a Manchurian candidate for the right. Katie Tour. I watch Nicole Wallace, who I appreciate, but Nicole Wallace was a right winger. She worked for the Bush administration. These people are selling him out, and I'm trying to figure it out all weekend. I'm like, why the fuck are these people who've been touting Biden turning the country around, A, not going over Trump's record anymore, which is horrible, but B, keep talking about, we're all worried. We're all worried about Biden. And I looked at it.
In the face.
They had a meeting. Well, they had a meeting. There was a meeting with the big donors. And Gretchen Whitmer was in it. It was in Idaho last week. Big billionaires. Now, I just want everybody to realize that we don't run shit. It's what I said in the Armageddon update. The owners, as Carlin said, the billionaire owners of this country met in Idaho to talk about politics.
France. You said it very French style.
Did I? So they met there.
Mustache.
Gretchen Whitmer went there because they're trying to fight who they're going to replace Biden with, and we're going to get to that in a second. So because of Citizens United, what has happened is all the power has been taken out. Once money has been taken out of our hands. The people, I think we still have it if we all get together. And because you should see it. Adam Schiff came out and said something about Biden today. He needs to pull out. And I have never seen a Democrat get lit on fire like social media is lighting him up.
To me, though. So
because he's a douche. Because
you're
money.
A Democrat.
I'm about to.
It's already happened.
Right. It's over.
Biden has said, I'm not leaving the race.
Right.
So you know this is
100
what
times.
is. Yes. This is what is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you know we've got a matter of months, not very long at all.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And Trump is getting sympathy for his, mattress
Boo-boo,
bandaged
boo-boo,
boo-boo.
He has a boo-boo.
But it was a heinous thing. I don't mean that, just the bandage was ridiculous. But why now? Why today? He said that's what's happening unless you really want to help Trump get elected. I don't understand that.
Biden needs to come out the next speech with 2 giant white and put his and be
Did you
like,
see it?
Two my pillows strapped to his head.
I can do it without a teleprompter. I don't need notes.
Did you see it?
Speech on that.
I told him,
It's a piece of paper.
as soon as we saw it, I said, you got to have Ken put words on that,
Yes.
put a movie.
We did in the Armageddon. We did a Lipton tea bag, and then
That's
we
awesome.
did a piece of a carry-on luggage to his head. But so here's why. So I look into it. That meeting, the billionaires said we are going to cut off funding to you, to not just Biden. Fuck. All the down ballot races, because we don't want Biden in. And why don't they want Biden in? The stock market's at 40,000.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't they want Biden in? And we got the economy's kicking ass. They've got full unemployment. Why don't they want Biden in? I will tell you why. Biden is pro-union, which costs them money.
Mm-hmm.
Biden is actually going to, because the Trump's tax cuts took the tax rate down 18%. Biden wants to bump it back up 14%. So now these billionaires and millionaires are going to pay 25% like a teacher or like a farmer or like you and I pay.
Yep.
So that's what's going to happen. So these guys looked at the bottom line and went, well, we have enough money and enough jets. If whatever Trump does, we can get out of here.
Yeah.
So we're not willing to pay this money that we paid 8 years ago, that we paid before.
Yep.
So these fucking fake ass billionaire Democrats, except for Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban came out and was like, "Hey man, I pay for the right to live in America.
Yeah.
I'm good." But everybody else is just selling us out.
In a way, I guess it's good because it's like they're popping up like whack-a-mole, right? Like, oh, okay, so you're on the dole. You're on the dole. Yeah. Okay. So now we have this like new fucking robber baron era that's going to guide the country into Project 2025.
Well, if you also know this is my big fear, because if you know history at all, what's happening right now is everything's going like this. Well, if you go back to the 1920s, 23 after the first giant pandemic we've had in a century, and the First World War, everything is going exactly like this, which means that at this point, what people don't quite understand, if Trump gets elected and he imposes his tariffs, Smoot-Hawley was imposed in 1928, 29, and that they call that Black Thursday, because Smoot-Hawley was basically put tariffs on all goods from all countries. It collapsed the economy the next week.
You know what else is going up? Giant bicycle front wheels too.
What?
That's also
what is going on? We're going back. Oh, he's going. Yeah, that's right. Trump comes in on a penny farthing. He rides in on a penny farthing.
I would not mind that. That would be.
Yeah, that would be an upside. Yeah. I'm running a 12-foot bicycle. That's
Except
fun.
I would have to ride it side saddle in a skirt.
Biden would definitely fall off that bike.
And with a gynecologist looking at your vagina to make sure that you weren't pregnant. We are in a place right now where and it's all money. So the Democrats are not looking down the road; they're looking down to their reelection. Yep. And I want you to know, Adam Schiff, you just lost. I'm looking at my social media, and I'm looking at everybody's social media. Adam Schiff on all social media platforms is getting trolled. I'm not voting for you. I'm writing in Katie Porter. I'm not voting for you. I'm writing in Katie Porter. Fuck you. People are just off on this guy. And it shows me, the one thing I was a Democrat for is because I always thought that the Democrats stuck their ground. Yeah. They don't. Yeah. It's all bullshit. It's all about money. I'm not saying there's not, like AOC fucking came out and like, I'm Biden. Biden's the guy. We're doing it. Yeah. Like certain people with integrity that I like, with the people that, it's funny, the people that, I wonder what Moskowitz said. Has Moskowitz said anything? Could you look at little Moskowitz? Jerry Nadler came out. Jerry Nads came out and I was like, I'm done then, dude. You're done. I don't understand. We expect these people to represent us in a way that they've said they are. Yeah. And the second it came down to money, the second these big donors said, we are not going to finance the down ballot races unless you guys get rid of Biden.
Well, the fact that
it stopped.
That Adam Schiff is getting hit hard on his social media gives me a little more, and gives Texas Paul's view on this a little more credence.
Yeah,
because
yes.
I heard what he said about, which made us all feel like, okay, thank God, is that the actual voters are in alignment and see through the truth of all this bullshit.
Well, what's going to happen? That's what so this is I will say this, people. This is the one time in my life. I understand years ago when nobody wanted to vote because my vote doesn't matter anyway. Yeah. This time it will matter because we've actually have our own team shivving our own. They're throwing the game. Yeah. They're trying to throw the game. But let's go down. Let's kind of analyze their plan. Okay. So we're less than 4 months from the election. Okay. They're going to get rid of the guy who has the best record since FDR. Like literally, they had Reagan on a stick for his last term. Yeah. But Biden, who we just saw do 8 speeches after the debate that were Biden. Yep. He's old. He even says, I'm fucking old. What do you want? Yeah. And did anyone think, as I said in the Armageddon update, did anyone think he was going to get younger in 4 years?
Now he's finally telling news reporters to shut the fuck up. Like he's that close to being like,
Lester Holt looked like, oh shit. Lester Holt came to the interview thinking he was going to interview somebody at a rest home, left the interview like, I almost got my ass kicked.
He started taking his belt off.
Let me tell you, he said, God bless. He leans in and he goes, God bless you. At one point, Lester, he goes, let me ask you something. Biden goes, all right, you keep asking me about the debate. He goes, it was a bad debate. I had a bad night. He goes, but how come you haven't said not one thing about Trump lying 28 times? Exactly. How come you haven't said anything about it? He goes, well, we have. He goes, no, you haven't. I've been watching. No, you haven't. He goes, God bless you. And I was like, wow, Biden just said, fuck you, Lester.
That's a very Southern way of saying
it. Punched him with God.
He just said, fuck you. So, all right, so let's go down it. So let's say, okay, Biden goes, all right, I'm getting out. Now, we've done polling, and I can put it up for you if you guys want to see it. They did poll. They Gavin Newsom, they did Kamala Harris, they did Gretchen Whitmer, and they did one more. There's one more. It's someone I don't know, that's helpful 4 months in.
They did Michelle Obama.
There's no way Michelle Obama. Michelle was like,
she said that. Her staff made a statement. No, this is not even a thing. You made it up.
The internet said that. Okay.
Yeah. Michelle Obama has disappeared. Once they took her vegetable garden out, she's like, fuck this place, I'm out.
They want it out. They're living their best life.
Yeah. He got $60 million for that book. Yep. He's fine.
Yep.
But Obama did his job. So they did the polling and they found out that if it's Biden, Trump, they said likely voters. They went all likely voters. And this was about a week ago. This was post-debate. Likely voters, Trump, Biden 50% to 49. Trump. They did Kamala Harris. It was 48%. No, it was Biden. It was 1% difference. Kamala Harris was 1% lower than Biden. So it's in the whatchamacallit. What do they call it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Shaky hands.
Whatever. It's in the God, I'm going to margin of error. Thank you, Jesus. I'm so tired from traveling. So then they did Gretchen Whitmer. She was a point less than Kamala Harris. Then they did Gavin Newsom, and he was the same as Kamala. Biden still was ahead of them by 1 point. So you're telling me that Biden in the polls is sliding, and I just saw polls that I found that were national polls that say Biden is easily as good as anybody else. On top of that, Biden has a record to run on. None of these people do. I mean, Gavin's got California record, but they're going to trash that. Gavin's not. The Midwest is not voting for Gavin Newsom this year. That ain't happening. Kamala Harris, maybe, but she's already on the ticket. So you take the guy who's got the best record and you split it. So now you got one person who we don't know how she's going to handle the economy. On top of that, she's not bringing anybody else in because she's a minority woman. And even Ray was like, they wouldn't elect the white girl whose husband woman had the best economy we've had. Yeah, exactly.
I didn't bring up her husband. You did. You did it again.
I'm just saying that.
They voted for Trump because they didn't want a woman. That's how desperate they were.
Right, exactly.
Donald Trump.
So what's your plan, dipshits? What is your plan? So 4 months from we have to vet this person, which means that the Republicans are going to go batshit, going through everything this person has done in their life. We already know about Biden. They had They had 8 years as VP, and now they had 4 years as president. They've gone after Biden, and we know that Biden cleared all the hurdles because for 3 years the Republicans have been trying to bury his ass, and they couldn't do it. They walked away from the prosecution and the impeachment. So we've got a guy who's clean. We've got a guy who's a good human being. We've got a guy with no dirt on. We got a guy with the best record in 50 years, and you're gonna fucking take him out? What are you doing?
And we know it's all fucking perception.
Yep.
No one has been in the public eye as much as Biden has.
Right.
To like, who's going to take his place? That's got that much.
But they're changing it. But the media, Katie Tour is the worst.
You can't transfer his money to anyone but Kamala. It's too late.
No.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, but Kamala, right? Just but Kamala.
Right.
But here's what I'm saying is, so I want Kamala to get her shot as president. I really do. She was a great prosecutor, smart. When she was in the Senate, holy shit, was she good?
Yeah.
But I want that. But I'm not going to split up this massive badass team with a record. Because if Biden, look, God forbid, Biden doesn't make it to 2 years. Let's say something, he gets sick and he dies. She's president.
President Harris.
She's president.
Yeah.
She's president. If you split them up now, she's going to lose to Trump. Trust me. And here's one more thing that no one has thought of. And I don't understand why these idiots keep talking about it. Because the left-wing media is setting the narrative. They're the ones who's caused the doubt. It's not the right. They've been screaming about Biden forever. But Trump is just as dementia riddled. You know, I've
and
actually
2.5 years younger. That's the difference.
Right. Well, also Biden said, Lester Holt, he goes, my mental acuity is perfect.
Yeah.
And I was like, he said acuity. Trump doesn't even know what that word means. He thinks it's about a young girl. Yeah, she's an acuity.
All of the pageants, they let me go and look at their acuities.
So my point is this. So what is your fucking plan?
Yeah.
So now the RNC, the Republican National Committee, came out and said, if you try to switch candidates this late in the election, we are going to file cases in 50 states. Now let's go down that little road. You're going to file cases in 50 states with how many judges appointed by Trump and a Supreme Court that's obviously the most corrupt Supreme Court we've ever had. It will all end up in the Supreme Court. They will say it's illegal. Trump's the winner. What the fuck are you guys doing?
And all the NATO leaders were going, What are you guys doing? What the fuck? Why are you sowing doubt? And then our fucking left wing, which by the way,
no, they're not.
They're really kind of right wing.
No, because the corporations are owned by everybody who owns MSNBC, Comcast, Fox, the ABC network. It's all hard right wing conservatives.
Yeah, that's why.
Don't you wish you could go back to a time when life was simpler and you were a child and you were eating your cereal in your feety pajamas? This episode brought to you by Magic Spoon.
Oh, Magic Spoon.
Do you know
Have you tried it?
I've seen it. And I'm like, man, I would love that.
We did not share.
Do you know it's the one thing? And okay, so we got it. We got the Magic Spoon census boxes, and it is.
So tell what it is.
It's cereal. It's cereal.
And
it's in brightly colored boxes, but it's very cool.
Yeah, they look like when we were a kid,
kinda,
like Fruity Pebbles boxes, kind of, and bars.
And bars, right? So
high protein.
So I'm like, we always try the product. We will not represent a product unless we like it. And you want to talk about de-stressing me? I get the peanut butter kind, which to me tasted like an adult version of peanut butter crunch.
Yes.
And I was like, and I'm eating out of the bowl. I'm like, babe, I'm 4 again. What is it? And it was and it doesn't have all the sugar in it. It doesn't, it's like.
So it's basically, if you want to have nostalgically delicious cereal, like when you were a kid, but you didn't want all that sugar and you wanted to actually get protein, what cereal can you eat that gives you protein? Every serving has 13 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar, and 4 grams of net carbs, which doesn't happen in cereal.
So I'm eating.
They have 10 flavors that are all designed to taste like cereal that you loved as a kid.
It's awesome.
So you were right. They have fruity, cocoa, frosted, and peanut butter.
Yeah.
So then there's other ones like blueberry muffin, cinnamon roll, awesome, birthday cake, honey nut, and maple waffle. They are. So I mixed the cocoa with the peanut butter. I didn't tell you this. I poured a little of both. So I had chocolate peanut butter and I put almond milk on it.
Do you know what I needed? I needed an episode of I needed Conjunction. I need a Schoolhouse Rock. If I could, I had a ball. I just want to put on the video of Conjunction. I'm going to relive because the world is dark right now, and I want to be 12 again.
But our childhoods, we've got childhood trauma, right? But some of the only happy moments were our cereal, morning cereal, and our 3 toys that we had.
Do you know why those are good? Because the parents were still sleeping. They were drunk from the night before,
Yes.
and they stayed in. And my dad said, "If you guys wake me up, I will kill you." So we would turn the TV down. We would snuggle up against it with a bowl of cereal and be like, "Okay, we're not going to die today." And we watch Saturday morning cartoons till maybe 11. Then you get up. What the hell are you guys still in your pajamas for? And then out. Then gone. Yeah, bikes. We're going. We're bikes.
I will say also that the bars are insanely good. Our trainer friend saw that we had them and took some. She was like, "Oh, I love this stuff." But I also have taken the cereal because it tastes so good. It's crunchy, and I'll put it in a baggie, throw it in my purse for a snack for later. But the bars kind of do that same thing. But I love the peanut butter and
But look,
cocoa
it's
cereal.
easy to make something taste good with a bunch of sugar and a bunch of crap in it.
Yeah.
This doesn't have all that sugar and all that crap, and I'm getting protein. Guys, Magic Spoon, check it out. It's awesome.
So you guys can get $5 off your next order of delicious cereal at magicspoon.com/Titus, or look for Magic Spoon. It's in your nearest grocery store aisle, on the cereal aisle. That's magicspoon.com/Titus. You get $5 off. Magic Spoon. Hold on to the dream. I like that.
Oh, that's nice.
It's good.
It's surprisingly good. And I said to Ray, I get done with the bowl and I go, you know what? I don't have that. When you have like Captain Crunch or old cereal, there's an acidic horror of sugar thing that this doesn't have. It was just awesome.
And just tears up the roof of your mouth.
No, I didn't have that at all. No, I had no stalagmite. I had nothing hanging down. It was great. I had no skin. I'm bleeding, but it was good. No, this was great. So let's get back to this for a second. So the Democrats, I used to think the Republicans were arrogant. The Republicans are crazy. I watched the RNC last night, and I'm watching them talk about this. Trump had the best economy we've ever had. But hey, they list no numbers. They list nothing. They just said it.
Yeah,
and
that's how they do.
And as I'm listening on the home, and they keep going, and we had the closest, the borders were, but no, they weren't. We had concentration camps on the border, and you were separating kids from their families. So they lied. There wasn't one piece of fact. They had the girl from OnlyFans, some girl from OnlyFans. Amber Rose spoke at the RNC and
on
Navarro.
the opening night.
Is that what she was?
Yeah,
like,
she's
who the fuck
OnlyFans.
is this?
She dated Kanye.
Who's this like dollar store Kim Kardashian? Who is this?
She dated Kanye, and
But that's where we're at.
Yeah.
That's their opener. That's your opener. And then Navarro is out of jail now. He's coming today, right?
Oh, he is out.
Yep. So he's going to talk at the RNC. The guy from jail. So it's weird. It's like it's
Charlie
almost like
Kirk.
Like there's more felons than at like
Matt Gaetz is speaking.
Than a probation office at the RNC. There's more people that have been indicted or arrested or accused of felonies. Their head guy has 34 felonies, and the media keeps talking that Joe Biden has slowed down. And I it's all money. And people listen. At the end of the day, all you have to do is vote.
Yep.
And if you vote, look, we've got one seat in the Senate and one in one or two seats in the House. If we can flip those, but I'm watching. I've never seen a party shiv themselves. Say what you will about the Republican Party. They're behind a 34-time convicted felon. And they're lined up and they're like, he's the best ever.
Who was already president. I was saying this to you before, but had to select another vice president because, as D.L. Hughley said, he tried to have the first one killed and had to find a new guy. He already had, and that guy wouldn't run with him anyway. And everyone that worked with him denounced him and won't work for him again or vote for him.
Out of 44 people that work with Trump said, I will never endorse him. He
has now chosen J.D. Vance, who is
the least experienced legislator.
He was a novelist and a finance guy. And he's 39, who said he was a never Trump guy. He said that the only thing that drove attraction to him is no special quality of Trump, but because people are resentful at the media and the political establishment. He called him America's Hitler. He called him a disaster.
Wait, this is his vice president pick. Because by the way, we talk shit all the time on the show. This is the guy that Trump picked to be his VP. Called him a
disaster. America's Hitler. Said that he was reprehensible in a series of Twitter posts that he's now deleted. He said in another tweet in 2016. He said he was voting for Evan McMullin, not Trump, even though he was a reporter. After the Access Hollywood, Republican, after Access Hollywood tape came out, Vance warned fellow Christians in another deleted tweet that everyone is watching when we apologize for this man. He accused him in such tweets that have been deleted of committing serious sexual assault.
He actually has to pay.
He called him cultural heroin.
He has to pay almost $100 million to somebody he raped.
JD Vance does?
No, Trump.
Oh.
Trump.
Yeah.
So that's his running mate.
What the fuck?
I know we're all sitting around going, what world are we fucking living in? What parallel universe we step into where everything is top secret? I feel like evil Willy Wonka has taken over and has just said everything's going to be crazy now. And then you get a guy who did the job. He has 50 years of experience. He's built this team. Look at his team. Ray and I are going, but if you vote for, you're not voting for Biden. You're voting for Buttigieg. You're voting for Kamala. You're voting for Blinken. You're voting for all the people that made this happen.
You're also voting for a better Supreme Court.
Yeah,
not a continued fucking.
So that came up this week. Bring this up. Biden went off at the NAACP speech and said that here's what we're doing to the Supreme Court. So for the first time, Biden has stepped up and said we need to fix the Supreme Court. Can you bring that up and see what he said he was wanted to do? Yeah. He's basically going to get Congress if we all vote blue and we get some Democrats in. People, here's the thing you don't get. We spend 26 times more than any other country on arms, and 32 out of 33 countries, we're the 33rd, have figured out how to give their people health care. So their people get to transfer their wealth at the end of their lives to their kids, to their family. We don't get to do that in America. What we got to do is we get sick. Every dime we've ever had now gets paid to the pharmaceutical companies and to the hospitals, and we die broke. And sometimes we die with our families owing debt because of the way we died. The rest of the world doesn't have that. 32 out of 33 countries have figured out healthcare. We can't.
Yes. And we're the richest one.
And we're the richest, and by far the richest. So I love when people say America's number one ago because we can't seem to figure this out. But we have like 32 different examples of how to make it work, but we can't seem to figure it out.
On what list are we number one in?
School shootings.
Yes.
Speaking of making things work. Terrible with the words you said. I was like, oh.
I don't even know how that worked, but that was. I don't know.
This episode brought to you by AG1, which makes your body work better. At least makes mine. AG1, you guys know, is this green powder that you mix with water, and it has over 75 vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods like greens and stuff like that. And adaptogens, probiotics, prebiotics. You're getting so many things in this. You can go on their website and look. But
by far the best supplement I've ever taken, honestly. The most complete and the best.
It helps me to fill nutritional gaps. And I think that's why I notice such a difference because I feel like I can't eat everything. I'm not a nutritionist. I don't have time to plan it out so detailed, and so this fills those nutritional gaps.
I haven't got enough chlorophyll today. Why,
Right. And it helps you support whole body health. So my brother is here and has now asked 2 days in a row for a smoothie with AG1 in it.
Yeah, because he's drinking.
Yes, he did say.
He's on vacation.
And this is not an advertised benefit, but for my brother, it helps him feel better the next day after having a drink or 10. So, AG1, it's also backed by research studies, which that really matters to me. And because of that, they've reformulated it over 50 times. It's nutrient dense ingredients. It's the perfect complement to a healthy diet, and it's easy. You can take it on the go. They also have packets that you can get and take on the road if you travel or if you just want to throw it in your bag for work that day. So also you can go online and look at the multiple research studies that they've had done by medical professionals, experts, things like that. For me, gut health, massive benefit of this. Energy, noticeable difference in it's like a sustained energy throughout the day as opposed to
I get calm. I get a kind of a sense of well-being. About 45 minutes, and I just get a sense. I don't know what that's from, but I think it's my body going.
Well, it was because of the like me just feeling more energetic, like able to face a workout that I started having that smoothie before I work out.
Yep.
And it tastes good. I don't know how they did that. We should hire these guys to run the country. Because how do you make, if you read the stuff that's in AG1?
How does it taste tropical?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a miracle. It's a miracle, people. So highly recommend, if you haven't tried it, that you go try this. If there's one product that we trust to support our whole body health, it's AG1. It's the only thing really that I take anymore. Yep. And that's why we partnered with them for so long. I don't even buy probiotics anymore. It's all in this one thing. It was in the
green smoothie this morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's easy and satisfying to start your journey with AG1. Try it. You're going to get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2, which comes in a dropper that I put in the water or in the smoothie. And you'll also get 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/Titus. That's drinkag1.com/Titus. Check it out.
Here's why that wouldn't work, because of facts.
What?
If AG1 is listing all, we've got all these things in here.
Yeah.
But the dumb American public would not, well, American media, let's say that.
Yeah.
Because sports, how come we can look at stats from like an athlete, right? And be like, oh, fucking this they've got the best record. They're going to win the Super Bowl. We're going to go with this team. They're trading and all that shit. But when we talk about our politicians, and their stats and their facts and their accomplishments, it doesn't matter. Why doesn't it matter?
I think this is new though, because it used to. Although maybe not. I think when it went sideways is after Nixon's criming probably did more to the psyche, to destroy the psyche of the American public. And again, I was little at that time. I was a little kid, and I remember my dad being very upset because you're not supposed to. If you're the president, you're supposed to be the best of us.
Yeah.
And what we found out over the years, as you get older and wiser, you realize these politicians. Adam Schiff today. I thought Adam Schiff was a really good guy. Adam Schiff sold out for money so fucking fast.
Did you explain that in the Armageddon update? Why you believe that he said that?
Well, I just said just now. I told everybody. I didn't talk about Adam Schiff in it. I didn't talk about it in there
because you broke it down for me, and I was like, "Oh," because there's like 7. There's Democratic donors across the party.
There's $90 million that these Democrats were supposed to get from this group of billionaires.
And not just for the presidential
run.
For the president.
It was for all the down ballot rates.
Yes.
They took them aside. Well, because you can't go tell you, Biden, we're not going to give you this money unless you quit. What?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. So they sat down, and that's why Pelosi was like, I can't sell it. Pelosi's even kind of cheesier because she's on this line where she's like, I'm going to let him make his own decisions.
Yeah.
But
it wasn't an endorsement.
No, these donors came in and said, we don't want Biden. We don't think he can win. And so we're going to hold back 90 million. So that shows you right there that Citizens United ruined this country. Citizens United made it so corporations are people. Corporations are people, which means that R.J. Reynolds, that means Dow Chemical, that means that the oil companies, that means that at Google, that means that Facebook, any company can give as much money as possible because it's free speech. Yeah. Well, let me ask you, who are you going to work for? So I'm going to donate $100 to your campaign, but R.J. Reynolds is going to give $10 million to your campaign. Yeah. Whose ideas are you going to kind of support?
Yeah. And what does R.J. Reynolds do?
$100?
The oil company?
Cigarettes and food. Now they do food. So let's say, well, R.J. Reynolds was smart. When the cigarettes started going down, they actually sold a lot of, well, they didn't sell their cigarette business. They actually started buying food companies. So let's say let's say there's some additive, because people don't even know this. Do you know there's 1,200 plus additives that we put in our food legally in America that the rest of the world has banned because it causes cancer and disease?
Yeah.
1,200 different ingredients. But in America, totally fine.
They're all in Skittles too.
Oh my God, they bought Kraft, General Foods, and Nabisco.
Yeah, I told you. Yeah.
So tobacco firms are now dominating America's food supply and make billions in sales.
Well, the good news is they've always been so good for America's health that they're not putting anything in
That's what I'm saying. And they lied to us.
Yeah, they lied to us. So you got these companies. Wow. So RJ Reynolds gives $10 million. You give $100. RJ Reynolds wants to put some chemicals into food, to Oreo cookies, to whatever that, may kind of shorten your life by a couple years. But I give him $100. They're going to go, well, we can't let you hurt Christopher Titus. He gave us $100. And RJ Reynolds goes, we're going to pull my $10 million. Then, oh, wow. Titus will be fine.
And they're also going to say, our scientists say it's safe.
So yeah,
Our scientists.
Right.
that
right.
started. That's
Who's running the EPA?
Right.
Our guy's going
our
to
guy.
run the EPA.
Yeah. Oh, the R.J. Reynolds scientists.
Yeah.
Wait,
RJ
what?
is going to.
Yeah, RJ himself. So you were living. It's always funny. I yelled at a lady today on the road. It's always funny.
Hey.
No, I yelled at a lady today. I rolled my window down. She was in the second lane in a Prius.
This happens a lot.
And I go, no, it does not anymore. I haven't done this in a long time. She's driving. She's probably, traffic's bad. She's an eighth of a mile behind the car in front of her and kind of wandering a little bit. And I get up next to her and she's literally doing this.
That's happening a lot.
She's doing this right now. And she's going, and then she stares with her knee and she goes, so she's not even, it's not like she's trying to see a police report.
She's engaged.
She's actually flipping
Just
through.
completely
She's
distracted.
She's flipping
Yeah.
through whatever. So I pull up next to her, roll my down, and I just go, "Get off the fucking phone!" And this woman just was like, and she just looked at me, and I'm off the fucking phone. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Because we're all in traffic.
Yeah.
Right.
And so everybody thinks, and this goes across the board. I think this is we live in such a comfortable place. And there's a comic named who's the English comic that's very, very funny.
Ricky Gervais.
Not Ricky's very funny.
Eddie Izzard.
No, the other guy who always wears a suit.
Always wears a suit. What's his name?
Anyway, he said something about we have like a life dysmorphia. He goes, in America we complain about shit all the time, but we live. He goes, I've been here. It's amazing.
Yeah.
He goes, what are you guys complaining about?
Yeah.
And so what happens is that because America's so good, everybody has this thing where they're so comfortable. You're safe. You're pretty much safe.
Yeah.
Even we're stupid. We've had how many two murders and a kidnapping across the street, and we're like, yeah, I still go to work. We have a gate.
Fine.
We have a gate.
Beep, beep.
Yeah,
Hey, neighbor.
we're part of the problem, really. And so everybody believes that they're going to be safe. Everything's fine. Look, the system will work. Trump can't do it. Do you guys remember what happened on January 6th? Do you people remember watching the TV going?
Well, they whitewashed that though.
Do you remember how you felt though? I'm walking around going, I had that metal thing in my body. I was like, oh shit, what's going on? They're going to take over the Capitol. Holy shit, oh shit. Yeah. And now we've kind of, and the media, the left-wing media is talking about Trump like he's a viable candidate. And I'm like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
What wormhole did I step through to this stupid world
what it
now?
feels like, yeah.
Doesn't it? I've never seen America like this.
It's all messaging. I was up until 2:00 this morning. My brother was having copious amounts of scotch and he wanted me to stay up with him. And so we're in the kitchen and I am having a political discussion with someone with opposing views who's been drinking. And I don't know if he remembers it.
It's like Friday's second show.
But we should be able to do that and not cut each other out of our lives. And that's what I was saying to him. And I was telling him because I said, you need to know that you're sending me Russian disinformation and propaganda. And you need to start fact checking. Well, the Epic Times.
Oh, it's a Chinese newspaper.
Know.
Yeah. It's a communist Chinese.
Right.
I just love that they're calling us communists. You're reading a Chinese communist newspaper. What are you talking about?
I told him about the bipartisan Senate Intel report. Oh, bipartisan. He goes, that means more evil people were on it. And because they're all bad. That's the new thing. Everyone's evil. They're all bad. And I said, no, it means that groups who never agree on anything both agreed and worked on this investigation and found direct links back to St. Petersburg in a giant building where Putin has had people for years.
He's got a farm. He's got a disinformation farm of people.
And then they tracked some of it directly to Fox. And I said, Breitbart, which he looks at. And I said, you have got to start being discerning and use your critical thinking, which is my complaint about everybody right now, and stop. You are spitting back to me Russian propaganda. Yeah. And that's how we are where we are, because so many people, my brother is a highly intelligent human being. Yep.
But likes fart jokes as much as we do.
Yes. Hey, there you go.
Yeah. He
See,
does
that's bipartisan.
I mean, really, really smart. And
did you say bipartisan? I did.
My gosh.
Wow. I want to applaud and vomit.
You
at the
guys
same
are
time.
all bipartisan. It crosses party lines. But that's how, because people are going to news sites because you could trust your news in the past, we thought. And it's cognitive dissonance, and so they are in this bubble, which everyone is in their own bubble, and that's how we are where we are. It has been completely rewritten. And I say again, if Donald Trump, if anyone is who Vladimir Putin wants in the presidency, everyone should run from that person, whomever it is. If he's trying to get Biden in office, we should all question that, you know?
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, look at this. That's we look. I've always tried to say with this podcast, because we never wanted it to be this political, but Trump made the world political. He made everything an us against them.
Yeah.
So I've always tried to be very straightforward, and that's why this one and last week I'm going for the Democrats. You guys are fucking it up, and you have no concept what you're doing. And I don't know, do they know, because they're getting Trump elected?
Yeah.
By just backing up Biden, they're getting Trump elected, and and the further it goes, they're just going to play everything against you, because what's going to they're not going to be able to cut they're not going to be able to cut Biden loose. That's what Biden has said. I'm not going. You're going to have to fight an old man, and nobody wants to fight an old man because they're wily.
Yeah.
They're wily.
Adam Schiff is a big one too. I mean, that's.
I thought you were going to say Adam Schiff was a bitch, because he is a bitch.
Oh.
And so here's what I've noticed is that what they've done now is they've given the other side video, quotes, and everything that they're going to use till election day. So what happened that these motherfuckers are willing to burn the house now?
I love the other thing that Trump did.
That's right.
It's money, yeah.
Which is like, obviously we always say it's projection, but he brought in the viciousness and the vitriol and the fucking chaos.
Yes.
And now they're saying, and Biden put out another speech from the Oval Office, and he's like, we got to, tone it down, tone it down. And then the fucking Republicans are saying, yeah, it's because of Biden's vitriol. Biden's motherfucking vitriol. Trump has been the one, he started by saying vitriol, coming down those fucking steps about they're rapists,
his first
blah,
sentence,
blah, blah.
His first sentence was migrants are rapists, and they're giving us,
and Bloodbath, and Bloodsport, and other Van Damme movies, and whatever the fuck.
and just name a Van Damme movie. He said that.
You even look, once he heard shoot her down, he got up and then put his fist up and yelled, fight 3 times.
I said that. I go, so we don't even know if there's another shooter, and you put your head right into the line of fire, you moron.
Yeah.
It's a dumb. No, he knew what he was doing. He sure shoot it down. Well, now, did you look up on the water
This episode, they won't let me segue. This episode brought to you by Butcher Box. They don't have no speaking of for any of that shit. Butcher Box, you guys know how much we love this. Another thing that's funny about having my brother here is that he loves to grill. He is the grill master. And he said, I love coming here because you guys want me to grill, because we've been like, hey, you're gonna...
Not only do we let know, so your brother gets here, I actually realize he's here. This is on Monday?
Last week? Yeah.
No, and while he was here,
I
went outside, and because we did a 4th of July thing, and I cleaned the grill. I took the entire grill apart and I took it apart, took it in the house. She was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm cleaning the grill." Your brother's here, and we have a refrigerator full of. We have a refrigerator full of Butcher Box,
and he has weapons.
That's what I was gonna say. He said he loves, because he loves to do it anyway, and that we love to eat it. But he goes, I go to your garage freezer, and I get to shop and look in here and then think, oh, I can make that with that. They'll love this. Last night, I said I got 2 bags of scallops from Butcher Box and a couple bags of salmon
and a hollow pass.
And he was like, oh, I can make the scallops. He goes, let me do that. I can get a little bit of bacon. And I was like, I got Butcher Box bacon on the top shelf. It's like, he was so excited for somebody that loves. Awesome. That's what he said he wanted to do with water chestnuts.
Oh, thank you, Butcher Box.
So that might be what we're having for dinner tonight. So it comes in a box to your doorstep. You don't have to leave your house, especially how crazy the world is right now. You also can get recipes and tips on their website. That's kind of a newer thing that I really like. It makes me try new things because I go on there and it's like shoe shopping. You get to just read about each cut of meat, drag and drop it in. And for me, the greatest thing is the quality of their product.
Same. Do you have dragon? You can get dragon? Oh, drag and drop.
Yeah,
drag and drop.
Game of Thrones kind of meat.
That was my Southern drag and drop. You get 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, which tastes awesome, pork raised crate-free, and wild-caught seafood, which is all humanely raised, no antibiotics or added hormones ever. Also free shipping, which is huge. So you think about when you go to Whole Foods, you go to the grocery store, how much extra it is for quality meat that is free range and organic and crate free and bacon nitrate free. It's always way more expensive. This is not. You save money by doing this and you get it shipped for free. So it's like this is just a no brainer. I signed my dad up for it. Everybody, my niece signed up for it. So gotta go look at their website. It's fun. Sign up for ButcherBox today. Go to butcherbox.com/Titus. Use promo code Titus at checkout, and you get your choice of bone-in chicken thighs, top sirloins, or salmon in every box for an entire year. Plus, you get $20 off. Again, that's butcherbox.com/Titus and use promo code Titus. The salmon, it's a big bag of individually vacuum sealed salmon. This is a crazy deal.
It's not RJ Reynolds meat. That's what ButcherBox is.
It was not done by some company.
Get ButcherBox meat and rest
Exactly.
easy.
So my biggest fear right now is that the people on the left right now have decided that. And by the way, how do you keep saying that Trump's going to win? Trump's going to win. Like, what are you guys doing?
Don't put it out there.
But it's money. But if it all comes down to these guys who pulled $90 million, because some of the reps, the people that bitched the most were the guys that had having the toughest fights. Hey, listen, Biden. If you can't run on Biden's record as a liberal, then you suck.
Yeah.
If you can't run on a record, and let's do a little lightning round so you guys, because I'll forget all of it. But a guy who basically took over in the middle of a pandemic where we were killing 5,000 people a day. They were stacking bodies in refrigerator trucks. Next thing I know, Biden's president, Ray and I are in a parking garage with 2,000 other people getting vaccinated. So now COVID is over. Did people forget that? We would go to the store. There was nothing there. Ray was getting up at 1 a.m. to go on Amazon to get these extra Costco, whatever, just to get food that would open up because there was no food in the stores.
Yep.
We that was where we are. Before that, farmers, we lost 24% of the farmers. 24% increase in bankruptcies because of farmers because of his trade deals with China. He fucked our farmers so bad. So the money that these supposed tariffs that were going to the government, that, by the way, tariffs, he keeps talking about tariffs. It's like, I totally get why he went bankrupt, because he doesn't understand how things work.
He went on that debate, brought it up himself because he hates negative press about himself. He brought up worst president in American history, but called Biden that.
160 people.
He brought up 16 Nobel Prize winning economists put out an op-ed saying that if he gets reelected, it will crash our economy.
It will crash it.
He brings it up and he just goes, it's fake. You have fake economy, fake news, fake, and he just dismisses it.
I'm
like
sorry.
that.
All 16 Nobel, because the Nobel Committee, they're just, it's like getting a thing on YouTube. It's like getting, if you get 100,000 followers, you get a plaque. That's what the Nobel Committee's, right? Yeah. So you got 16 Nobel Prize winning economists said that everything he wants to do will destroy the economy. You've got, and he did, by the way, he had to pay farmers. People, do you guys know that he gave $24 billion in subsidies to farmers because because China, once he ran on tariffs from China canceled all the contracts. And they went to Venezuela and they got their food.
And that's what people don't get. If he imposes tariffs, China's not paying those tariffs. But
this is what people don't get.
Consumers pay.
Guys, let me explain how tariffs work. And we've explained it a couple times.
Now, Professor Titus on tariffs.
No, dumbass who's studied economics since he's taken the. So let's say you buy a TV let's say you buy a Samsung TV, which is a Korean made thing, right? Korean name. Okay. So those TVs come into the country on a big giant ship. Let's say there's 1,000 of them. Well, let's say the TV is $100, but that $100 is actually making GE or whoever's making TVs in America. They have to sell those for $300 because of labor laws and whatever. So we put a triple tariff on that TV to make it $300. Well, Samsung doesn't pay that money. The consumer pays that money. So if you want a Samsung TV and they put a tariff on it, you're paying more than Samsung wants, and that money's going to the government. They're taxing you again. It's just another grift. They're just taxing you again. So Yes, and I know it's not that simple. There's like, if they're trying to bonus on, they're making solar panels cheap because the government's subsidizing. That's fine. I get it. There's certain things that because Biden kept some of Trump's tariff. He's like, listen, you guys are flooding the market with shitty steel, and we're not going to let that happen. But they don't know what terrorists mean. They don't know what communism means. Yeah, communist. Do you know what communism is? The government runs everything. The government decides how much money you get. They understand what kind of toilet paper.
What you wear.
They don't know what socialism is. I don't want to be a socialist. Really? How did you drive here today to the Trump rally? Did you use a road? Because that's fucking socialism. You know, if you have a heart attack and the ambulance shows up, that's socialism. If you fucking your house is on fire and the fire department shows up, that's socialism. When you call the cops because you got a neighbor with a gun and the cops show up, that's socialism. What are you talking about? And so I'm to the point now where I realize that Reagan's destruction of our education system has finally brought the results the Republicans wanted. We need a stupid fucking electorate who will decide to do whatever some bullshit politician lies to them about. And that's where we are.
It's not even the electorate. I mean, it's the electorate too, but it's also these corporatists, these CEOs that don't think long term, right? So they're thinking just like quarterly thinking. They're like, okay, they're going to get this tax break, right? But that money that funnels into the electorate, that ends up paying them back in bigger dividends. It's like what like Bernie Sanders says. It's like if you give people health insurance, it actually reduces their costs, which then they have more money to spend.
But this is what people don't get about economics.
They have people live longer, so you have longer living customers to buy your shit.
Right, but this is what they don't get about it. Like, okay. Yeah, by the way, let's make this because you're just as furious as I am.
Yeah,
and I think sometimes both of us get a little bit like, so here's what I'll say. He's right. If you give people health care, then I don't have to spend the money on health care. I get to go buy a new car, which actually puts more money into the economy. Yeah. Oh, and I have to pay sales tax on that car. Oh, by the way, if I don't have to pay $35,000 for an operation, I get to spend that $35,000 on a better school for my kids, which makes my kids smarter, which makes my kids make more money, which buys more goods, which makes the company better. Yeah. But the corporatists, the people that run the capitalist bullshit and I love Carlin, man. It's so funny. As I've gotten older and wiser, I used to think Carlin was grumpy and he's too harsh. I'm like, he didn't yell loud enough. Yeah. He did not bitch long enough. But the owners have decided that you're right. Their quarterly report is more important than the longevity of their company. And there's one company, Arizona Tea, that's like, we're not raising the prices. Like we all need to be Arizona Tea. I think we all need to be Arizona Tea.
Yeah. What other companies are? I mean, a lot of the sponsors that we have, they're putting out good products.
Starbucks was like, oh, we're going to help our people get college and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden they realized it was costing them money. Mm-hmm. And because we have a profit system, what's your profits? How do I invest in it? Because we have that part of it makes us where they don't give a shit about the people.
Yeah.
Just how do we make more money now?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the problem with this is, and what they don't get about this election, is that if you have that mindset now and Trump gets elected again, it's exactly what happened with Hitler. Hitler did jail for 5 years. When he came back out, he had 5 years to figure out the fucking plan and make it work. Mm-hmm. They just said that Stephen Miller was at the RNC and Miller wants to deport instantly over 1 million people. And someone goes, how do you do that? How do you round up 1 million people? What's that going to cost? And by the way, how do you ship out? It's easy to say, but if someone said this about Trump just gets up and goes, there's a fire. We're going to bring in the best water and put it out. Like
the wettest water.
Yeah, the wettest water you've ever seen.
H2O.
He said that.
Yes, he did.
There's never been water in the case.
Makes it more wet.
There's never been water like this in the. Remember that he said that with water being wet?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful clean air and beautiful clean water, or H2O.
But people.
And the fucking funny thing is, he voted against regulations to keep water clean.
Yes, he did. He actually, the immigration bill, if you look at it, they're doing it now. Biden's immigration problem. Well, motherfucker, they had a bipartisan bill that Republicans said was the most conservative bill since Ronald Reagan, and Trump told them to kill it. Don't vote on it.
Yeah.
They had it. We were done.
Yeah.
But that would have given Biden, we passed immigration. So he did it in an executive order, and they still pissed at him.
You know what else is fucking weird and topsy-turvy? The Teamsters president
Yeah.
I mean, okay,
Saw that.
is this is he a Trojan horse or what the
He's-
fuck? Because the Biden administration
Saved his ass.
has been favoring you. First of all, the Democrats have been on the
Unions,
sides
yeah.
of union for the most part forever. Republicans shoot that shit down, and they've been doing it recently.
They're going to do this guy too, though. No, he's not a Trojan horse. How do you think Trump? Fuck, this I don't get. All right, I'm going to talk one more thing, and then we're going to wrap this up. Nikki Haley, who talked more shit. You should bring up Nikki Haley, what she said about Trump. Nikki Haley talked more shit about Trump to the point where people hated Trump so bad when she was out of the race. She won, she got like huge percentage of primaries. She didn't win primaries, but she got like 20% of the vote in the Republican primary. She talked, he said he's got dementia. He's losing his way. He called, basically, she motherfucked him the whole time.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
She spoke at the RNC.
In favor of him and said it.
Yes.
Yes.
See, that's the difference. The Teamsters guy didn't actually say.
Did you watch it? What did he say?
No, just clips of it that I've seen, but he didn't come out and like all the other speakers that they actually mentioned Trump by name and say, I support him. He didn't do that. And he was basically saying the same talking points that fucking Bernie Sanders has been saying.
She got booed when she walked on stage, booed and cheered at the same time.
Mitch McConnell could barely get his delegates out because they started booing him. He goes, we're Harvard because we're 37 delegates for Kentucky. Boo! Boo!
She called for the party to unite behind Donald Trump. She said, I was up late trying to convince my drunk brother
To stop drinking.
No, well, that too. I did try that. And when he went and got another scotch, this is what kind of sister I am, side trip. I wasn't drinking, and he said just a little more, and it was like a lot
I
more.
was giving him one finger.
And I thought he gonna be in trouble tomorrow. So every time he turned his head, I would take the glass and like drink some and put it down, like. But I didn't want. And he's okay today. Surprisingly.
Did you do that to me when I drank?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
My mom used to do that at
Just
restaurants
to
my dad.
take it down a little.
Yeah. To control the.
Mhm.
Yep.
So
It's also
now
a great
I'm an alcoholic.
I was going to say, it's also a great excuse for alcoholism. I was trying to save you.
I was
Less
not drinking. I had not. I
You
made,
drink too much, so I've been drinking all of your stuff so you don't drink so much.
I made painkillers earlier in the evening because it's summertime. It's the only time I'll ever drink
because it's summertime.
mixed drinks, because usually I avoid like sugar and like juices and stuff like that. But painkillers during the summer with ground nutmeg, come on, son. Also fresh peach frozen margaritas with tahini around the rim. I mean, I am cranking things out of that blender you would not
I
believe.
don't even know what that is. That
I
sounds
made
fancy.
pina coladas the other day. Anyway, so
And I am now almost 7 months into not drinking at all.
yeah, I've fallen apart. So she said, Donald Trump has my strong endorsement, period. She said, you don't have to agree with Trump 100% of the time to vote for him, and argued that a unified GOP is required to save this nation.
From what?
Exactly.
We've got what are we saving our nation from? We've got the highest stock market. We have the lowest unemployment rate. We got, not only has black unemployment come down, it's actually almost it's very close. It's the closest it's ever been to white unemployment in a sense of a difference. It used to be like 10 points difference, black unemployment numbers. Now it's almost I don't understand. We've got unions are winning again. We've got infrastructure going like crazy. We've got another thing Biden wants to do. Here's another reason why these guys don't want him to be president. So he's started doing it already. In 2021, Biden started passing legislation to break up monopolies.
Yeah.
Live Nation, antitrust at Live Nation, breaking up Facebook, breaking up Google, because they run everything. They run everything. So Biden started doing it. They've gone after Live Nation. They've gone after Apple. They've actually filed against Apple. They filed against. So you got these $1 trillion companies that are like, fuck you, we want to run shit. No, we're going to break you up like we always have throughout history. So what happened? Again, can we talk about economics one more time? Okay, Facebook, Google. Google runs everything, right? Well, Google is so big now, Google can run the world. So what you have to do is you have to break Google up into 5 different companies so they can, now you have 5 companies competing for your dollar.
Yes, which is strange because the competition is capitalism. So
yes, no, yeah, they all are capitalists up until you
Up
go,
to a
wait,
point.
we have to work? Fuck that.
Yeah.
we've got our shitty internet. We've got shitty internet, right? Well, Biden wants to break up Comcast or whoever the giant internet companies are and go, no, and now he wants to make, what's the term for it? Internet, he wants to make it, he goes in his NAACP, he goes, I want to make it so a kid who has to get on the internet for his homework doesn't have to go park in the McDonald's parking lot to actually get on their Wi-Fi so he can do his homework. Yeah. Net neutrality. He wants to do net neutrality. So that's going to break up Comcast. That's going to break up all these giant media companies now own like 5 different networks and 5 different television stations and 5 different streaming services. And nobody in those companies wants that to happen. When did this stop? Well, they used to break up companies all the time. Again, this all fucking tracks back to Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan changed the laws a little bit so it wasn't that big a deal. Now, he didn't stop the law. What he did was he just changed it enough so they don't have to go after it. They don't have to aggressively do it. Well, now Merrick Garland's going after it. So he's breaking up companies, which is going to cost them money and create competition. That's not what they want. They've got everything they want. And so why do you think? And so all these billionaires, because of Citizens United, have all the money, and they're like Democrats. You want to win your election? You're going to need money. Who told us, by the way, all it takes is money? Rick Wilson.
Yeah.
Rick Wilson said all it takes is money. Well, they just had 90 million taken from them.
Speaking of money, you should come and see Titus in Vegas at Wise Guys on July 26th and 27th.
I'm not doing any comedy like I'm talking tonight. No,
It'll actually be jokes.
Yeah.
Then in August, you've got Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Nashville. So go check out the calendar. There's new stuff being added all the time. A lot of road work. We just added Indy, Schaumburg coming up, Salt Lake City coming up, St. Louis. We're going back to Bozeman.
You're scaring me. I got to write this new show. I got to finish this new show.
It's like every weekend. I believe after the end of August, last 2 weeks of August, begin the rest of the year every weekend. So that's what you wanted, baby Tigray. So let's
get this new show in shape. We are almost done with Carrying Monsters. We are actually getting to the final stages. Ken has done an amazing job. And one more thing. What do you guys think? What do you think is going to happen with this? Let's make a prediction on where this election is going to be. We're 3.5, 4 months away.
I am praying to our Lord and Savior, Texas Paul, that he is
Amen,
right about what he said, that the actual voters can see through the bullshit. Please, please.
Paul is a bit of an optimist, and
it's good against me, though.
It is a nice counterbalance to you, but his ideas about polling after that debate were not. The polls, Trump went up a little, not a crazy amount, like not even double digits,
within a margin of error.
Do you know he lost
Could have
ground
been, sure.
after the assassination attempt? He lost ground after the assassination attempt.
That's because he walked out with a mattress on his ear. If you are trying to project strength like a dictator does, and like he did with the fight, that whole thing,
it's a My Pillow.
Then, man it up a little there on the ear. This, you look like a toddler, and he already sits like that.
Like his mommy.
He really looks like he doesn't want to be there. He looks exhausted and like, God, I can't believe I have to do this shit again to stay out of prison.
It would have been better just
we forget this. Oh, Eileen Cannon.
Yeah, we have to talk about that next week because we are hour 20, and if those cameras run out, we are screwed.
Well, a quick thing: Eileen Cannon has basically said Trump doesn't have to. She dismissed the documents case, and as we know, I'll probably be the Armageddon update next week. Jack Smith today filed an appeal, so let's hope this
it would get her off the case,
yes.
hopefully. So
good.
Guys, come see us on the road. Do me a favor. Carrying Monsters is coming out pretty quick. We'll let you know that next week. And now it's time for Highlanders Fun Facts. Highlanders Fun Facts. It's Highlanders Fun Facts.
Yeah.
You know who else is good at breaking things up?
Speaking
of the Pope.
I didn't do speaking of.
The Pope.
You didn't.
The Pope Francis, the current living Pope, was a bouncer.
Yes, we knew that.
Yeah.
This was a big deal when they were
at the
considering
beginning. When it happened at the beginning, there was a couple of things he popped off that I was like, "Oh, that's a bouncer." When he first began, he's been a Pope for like 10 years now, right? Like at least a decade.
I don't know. I have recently realized that time is flying by.
Yes.
this morning we were talking about Love is Evil, and I said, oh, it was 16 years ago. Oh my God, it was 16 years ago. What? No, that can't be, right? I don't know. Maybe it's all the drinking.
The Highlander was also a bouncer.
Yeah.
There's another one.
Were you really?
Yes, I was also a pope. No, I
was
an altar boy though. That's close enough.
By the way, Bouncer Pope was like I called him Bouncer Pope for a long time.
You did.
He came out and he said he talked some mad shit at the beginning, and they obviously toned him down since he got older. Because I remember when he came out, it was like, this guy you don't want to get punched by a pope.
Yeah,
but it was like someone called him on the wrong thing.
That's not a holy water. That's blood. Okay.
Yeah, dude. Blood of Christ is all over your eye where he hit
red.
You. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And do me a favor. When you come to the shows, just know how much I appreciate it. Ray and I had such a good time in Omaha, and the people are so great. And Vegas is coming up. I'm breaking in a ton of new material, and it's fun.
Killing. Brand new stuff, and it's killing.
I couldn't follow after because I do like maybe 20 minutes of it, and then I got to the end of it, and I went back to my old show. And whatever I'm writing now, it took me 3 minutes to get it warmed back up because my old stuff couldn't
like, no,
follow
wait,
it.
we wanted to do that.
Yeah, you were. That was way funnier.
No, it's just it changes streams when you do that.
It does.
So.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. For myself, the lovely Bombshell Ray and the Highlander. Later.
Peace out.
You're gonna be like,
Come on, puppies.